want to share the screen because there's a couple things I want to show you that are going to be really, really good to talk about. Here is the first one. Let me do this. Let me see if I got this right. Yeah, here it is. Okay, this is Mike Florio with now Florio's a donkey as far as I'm concerned. I am not. That's my words, not the coach's. But here is the most asinine thing I've heard from this moron in a while.
You do not like this guy.
No, this guy's a turd. I don't know whose lawn this guy's mowing, but my God, get this guy off the air. Okay, here he is with Peter King. Listen to this fucking take. This might be the fucking biggest joke take I think I've ever heard.
This is how me and Larry talk off air, by the way. This is how we talk off air.
Listen to this donkey take. Listen to this one.
I think when you think of a franchise quarterback, you think of Joe Montana, Dan Marino.
Two Italian names.
Brock Purdy is just kind of a weird name. It doesn't sound like a franchise quarterback name. Purdy's a little too close to turdy. I just think people have a hard time looking at that name and saying that's a franchise quarterback. I know when I first saw that name,
that easily is the most ridiculous point you've ever made. That's easily the most ridiculous point you've ever made.
Yes.
That's absurd. That's one of the silliest things I've ever heard.
I guarantee you I'm not the only person that's like, well, that's not a quarterback name when he first landed on the radar screen last.
What the hell? That's what, Coach. Your comments on Brock Purdy. I like how an Italian guy says that Joe Montana, Italian name, that's a quarterback's name. Dan Marino, that's a quarterback's name. Brock Purdy? It sounds too close to turdy? What? Somebody yank that guy's sheets. My God. Coach, you're muted. Oh, and we missed a great line. And a great you're still muted. There we go.
What in the blue fuck is he talking about? His name rhymes with turdy?
I mean, come on.
What is it? Was it a slow day at NBC? What the fuck was that?
What is that?
This is the shit that they talk about on Peter King was sitting there listening to that shit.
Peter King, it's like we're all noticeably dumber for having heard that. That's just
and
that's
these
the
are the
kind
people
of stuff
that we
this
click
guy's
on.
What do you think Florio make? Can you ask
hey Google, how much money does Mike Florio make annually?
Sorry, I don't have any information about that.
You goddamn right. Nobody has information about that shit. What is he talking about?
Whatever it is, it's too fucking much.
Come on, man.
Jesus.
Like, bro, and that's the shit that you know, let's talk about it.
That's just so bad. And what if he had said that about somebody with some kind of a foreign name or something? He'd be bro, only because it's Brock Purdy can he get away with that. If he said that about
exactly.
I mean, if he said that about somebody else, he'd be fired.
No, I'll say it. If Brock was black and he made that comment, the outrage would be through the fucking roof.
He'd be done.
He will be done. He will be done. That's a fucking blind spot. And he makes these gaffes all the time. He always does this shit. You know what I'm saying? So for me, bro, it's embarrassing, bro. It's like I thought you were like a vet at this shit. I thought this is what you do. I mean, that's all I really have to say about it, man. Like when he said, I didn't even hear the rest of the comment. Like I heard turdy and just got up and walked away. Like I'm done. I'm done.
Retweeting it saying Florio retire. Just retire.
That was dumb, man.
Oh, it's not only
he makes
dumb,
1.5 a year.
It's who said that?
Somebody in the chat said he makes 1.5 a year.
1.5 for Purdy rhymes with turdy. Oh my God,
that's bullshit. You got to. Hey, look.
It's like a kindergarten take. It's like poo poo.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's not that dumb.
I'll say this.
That's just embarrassing.
I'll say this. I know.
I hope the Niners go to the Super Bowl and that little take gets revisited.
He's got to say his name. Exactly. Right? But this is what I'll say. I love football. Like, I love football. And you're going to come across so many different walks of life in the game. Right? You're going to come across so many different people. And one of the biggest things that I hate about the game is people who try to turn the game into this tabloid ridden like high school shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, football's big enough to take a guy with no name. Okay? You don't do that. What it sounds like is like that was just the conversation that you usually have with two men who've never played the game, who are probably sitting on the press conference, who are probably sitting in the press box watching the real shit happen while we're actually playing the game, right? Like, this is a low vibration discussion. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's almost kind of like he brought it up because he thought it would be funny, but on the back end, he doesn't know that somebody could truly be offended by that. Somebody could really be offended by what you're saying right now. It was a blind spot.
Riddy Musich. He says, society and media loves to underestimate and poke fun at the small white guy. True.
So let's do it. Let's do it. You know what? Let's do it. Let's have the conversation. There's a lot of fans. Okay?
Are you pointing at me or the audience?
The fans.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a lot of fans who
I'm
champion.
going to use
Brock.
that. I'm going to use that
Yes.
in the future. There's a lot of fans, and I'm just start pointing at the screen.
There's a lot of fans.
You know who you are.
Who champion Brock, and they don't want to admit it, but they champion Brock because they see themselves in Brock. Brock is small. He's unassuming. He doesn't look like a big,
it's like Steph Curry. He's relatable.
He's relatable. He's very relatable. And there's a lot of people out there who they identify with Brock that way. And rightfully so. Sports intertwines into the fabric of society. You want to root for the guy that you either can vicariously live through or you can identify with. So when you make comments about any athlete and you say things about any athlete in a coded way, you're alienating a part of the fan base who deserves to be there just as much as you do. And that is the conversation that I was having about Trey when he was here. I'm going to defend Brock the same way. And what Mike Florio said about Trey was fucking bullshit. It was wrong.
I didn't even hear it.
Said it.
What'd he say?
Mike Florio?
Yeah,
About Brock.
Oh, about Brock. Oh, I think
about Brock.
Oh.
What he said about Brock was fucking bullshit.
I mean, Peter King laughed in his face. I mean, Peter King was like, why am I even on here? I mean, it was just like, it was bad. I mean, I don't know.
It was bullshit.
I mean, I'll say this. It sure as hell was, it better have been an attempt at humor. But since the guy isn't a funny guy.
It wasn't, no, Larry. He can't get off the hook with that, Larry. No, it wasn't an attempt at humor. What it was an attempt at was it was his way of trying to highlight the fact that Brock Purdy is nothing like a football player. His name doesn't look like a football player. He doesn't look like a football player. And the talent that's coming out of him is not something that should be marveled at, but it's almost should be looked at as like, would you look at that? Isn't that special? Isn't that crazy that this little white kid can come out here and run around the field and do good things? That's what he was trying to allude to by making fun of his name. And he was wrong. He was wrong. All things play, bro. All things play. He was wrong.
I'm not a Florio guy.